Hey guys, so I have something that I'm really excited about that I want to share with you, and that is the budget spreadsheet that I created using Google Sheets. Now, I know spreadsheets can be intimidating for some people because usually you'll see a lot of charts and numbers and formulas, and it just gets really confusing. But I promise you that this spreadsheet that I have created is simple, it's not overly complicated, and by the end of this video, you will be confident in knowing that you can manage your finances without all the extra stress. So if you're interested in seeing how to use my budget spreadsheet, make sure you keep watching. But if you're new here, welcome. My name is OZELLA, and my channel focuses on being more intentional with money by budgeting better and getting out of debt. Right now, me and my husband are on a debt-free journey, working our way out of 6 figures worth of debt. So I would appreciate any support and encouragement that you all have to offer. So feel free to hit that subscribe button and the bell so you can be notified when I upload new videos. And if you're a returning subscriber or viewer, I just really want to say thank you for all of your support. Now, when you click on the link to open up the spreadsheet, this is the screen that you're going to see. The very first thing that you're going to do is make a copy of it, because otherwise your information is not going to save. It's not even going to let you input any information. But for my people who use Microsoft Excel, I just want to show you how to convert this into an Excel spreadsheet. So what you do is go to File. You will go to Download, and then you will go to Microsoft Excel. And then it's going to open up a dialog box to ask you to save it, and you would just save it. Alright, and I just want to show you what it looks like once you actually save it and open it up. So as you can see, this is what the spreadsheet looks like, and all of these falses here are just where I had check boxes at. So you'll see in the Google Sheets that I have a checkbox here, and that is the only thing that did not transfer over, but everything else transferred over just fine, and everything else will work just fine. So back to the Google Sheets, I'm going to go to File and then make a copy, and I am just going to go ahead and rename this to what I want it to be. And then it's going to open up a brand new file for you. So I give you some basic instructions here, but it's going to make more sense as we actually go through the sheets, and I will do a little more explaining. So back to the actual Google Sheets document file. You'll see some basic instructions here on the first page, which it'll make a little bit more sense as I'm going through the spreadsheets and kind of explaining to you then. But at the bottom, you'll see that there are the months of the year. So there's a monthly budget for each month of the year. And then I also give you a yearly summary as well as a blank template just in case you make a mistake and mess up one of the formulas. You can go ahead and make a copy of the template. Now, for the yearly summary, you don't have to do anything with this other than put the year here. So you would just go click on this box here and then add the year. So I'm just going to put year 2020. And the rest of this information is going to transfer over. It's going to auto-calculate from all of the rest of your spreadsheets. These categories here are the same categories that are in your monthly budget. So what I recommend is under housing, you can change these with no problem. You just edit them, delete it, change it to whatever you want. So like I'm doing now. But on line 26 of every spreadsheet, whatever you change it to, just make sure it remains consistent. So if line 26 in January says rent, make sure that in July, line 26 does not say electric or Dominion or whatever. Make sure it says rent. So each line item just needs to stay the same across the board so that when you get to your yearly summary, everything calculates appropriately. And then as far as your blank template, this is what it looks like. It's basically a blank template. And what you can do is right click on it, and then you will press duplicate. And then it's going to make a copy for you. And then you're going to rename it to whatever spreadsheet that you messed up on. So say you messed up on December. The first thing you do before you rename it is just delete December. So say we messed up on the formulas on December. We're just going to right click and then press delete. It's going to ask you if you're sure. Just go ahead and press OK. We're going to rename this copy to December, and it's really important that you keep the names of the months or the names of the spreadsheets the same. So whichever one you deleted, make sure you rename it that same one. And I made it easy for you because all I did was take the first 3 letters of each month, but that becomes important when it gets to the yearly summary as far as those automatic calculations. So you just right click on it and press rename, and I'm just going to rename that to DEC and press enter. And now I'm just going to press and hold it to drag it over to where it belongs, which is after November. And it's simple as that. All of your formulas will still be there, nothing will mess up. Now, since we're already working on December, I'll go ahead and stay here. But one of the first things that you will notice with this spreadsheet is you have on the left-hand side, you have a monthly budget. And then scrolling over, you have a bi-weekly paycheck budget. And then you have a and then you have a weekly paycheck budget system. And I put 5 paychecks here because sometimes, there are 5 weeks in a month. And then as far as a bi-weekly or semi-monthly, however you want to look at it, sometimes we get paid 3 times versus the 2 times a month. So I wanted to make sure we had room and space for the possible scenarios that we would have in a given month. So what I'm going to do is briefly talk about the monthly budget and the paycheck budgets, and then I'm going to do like a mock budget to show you how it works so that when you're doing your budget, you can see how easy it is to input your numbers and to have it calculate things for you. One of the things that I really want to stress to you though is to not delete any columns or any rows. What you can do is you can rename these categories here. Any category you want, you can rename it, but do not delete it. So if you are paid bi-weekly and you don't have a person in your household that helps you with finances that is paid weekly, you can go ahead and hide this to not even pay it any mind. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to go ahead and highlight these. So all you do is click on the letter of the column that you want to highlight, and then you'll just drag it over. And then just right click and press hide. And it's simple as that. Now, one thing I did want to mention, if you go ahead and change these categories here. So say I don't want my income to say source 1, source 2, source 3, source 4. I normally budget full-time, and then I put my initial, which is O, and then I'll put my full-time for my husband, and his initial is V. And then I'll go ahead and put, maybe I'm doing DoorDash that month, and I estimate that I'll receive some money from DoorDash. So I'll go ahead and write that there as well. So you see when I change it here, in the monthly budget, it automatically changes it over here in the paycheck budgets. So you don't have to even bother with it. Whatever you change in the monthly column is going to change automatically in this paycheck column as well as the weekly one. Let me just show you really quick. So you see here, I brought back, I unhid the weekly paycheck budgets, and you can see it changed it here as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and hide it again. And by the way, to unhide the columns that you hid, all you have to do, you see these 2 arrows here, all you have to do is click on one of the arrows, and that's how you get it to show back up. So right now I'm just going to be talking about the monthly budget, which is columns A through E. So just don't pay any of mind to these paycheck budgets just yet. So we're just working on, actually, I should go ahead and hide everything. Everything that I am not working on. And now all we're working with is the monthly budget. Let me see if I can zoom in just a little bit. Ooh, that's big. Okay. All right, so the only thing that you really have to do with the monthly budget is you can rename your columns like I already mentioned. You can go ahead and write the month in. So we're working in December, so you can write the month in. And then in this column here in B, it's a blank column, but you could put the due dates of your different bills and expenses. So as far as mortgage, you could put the 1st there. Maybe your electric bill is due on the 5th, and you can do it that way. And that way you know what days your bills are due. Now, the other thing you would be doing is the budgeted column. So you can do this budgeted column 1 month, 2 months, 3 months in advance. You can do this whenever you feel like you have enough information to make an estimate, an accurate estimate of what your bills might be for that given month. As far as the actual and the difference, you're not going to mess with that at all. You don't have to put anything in there because you're going to see that it's going to automatically calculate everything for you once you go to actually do your paycheck budgets. So you can use this budget spreadsheet just like you would do if you was writing it out on pen and paper. But the benefit of using the spreadsheet is it does all of your calculations for you. So you're less likely to make any errors when you're doing it this way. So we're going to do a mock budget really quick, and I am just going to go off the categories that I already have listed. So as you can see, all of this calculated here for me. So it's telling me that my total income is budgeted to be $5,500. And then savings, my total expenses comes to $4,330. I'm paying $895 towards debt. And then I am in the negative by $225. So I use a accounting format, so it gives us parentheses whenever we're in the negative. So that's why you see parentheses around the 225. So whenever you see parentheses in your budget, you know that you're in the negative. So there's something else that you have to do to kind of balance everything out. So this is going to be our mock budget here. So I'm going to go ahead and do my bi-weekly here, and then I'm going to go ahead and do my husband's weekly. Now, as far as your paychecks are concerned, if you have a 2-income household and you both are paid weekly, then this spreadsheet is not going to be it's not going to work for you. But if you have someone that is paid bi-weekly and somebody else is paid weekly, this will work great. Even if you have someone that is paid bi-weekly and bi-weekly or bi-weekly and semi-monthly. But just the 2 weeklies, it just doesn't work on this spreadsheet. Now, the first thing I want to bring to your attention is the paychecks. So you can either put the date of your paycheck here where it says paycheck number, or you can just go right underneath and put the paychecks here. So I'm going to go ahead and fill in some numbers here just to kind of give you a general idea of what it's going to look like. So I will go ahead and do that and probably speed this video along. Now that all of our paychecks are filled out, and then one thing I did forget to tell you is there are check boxes here that you can use to just check off if you paid the bill or whether the bill money came out of your account. You can go ahead and use this to check it off and simply click it to check it and click it back again to uncheck it. Everything is filled out in our little mock budget. So I'm just going to scroll all the way back up. And then I'm going to go all the way over to the left because now I want to see what's going on in our actual budget here. So I'm just going to zoom this back out. Now, you can see even if I hide these columns here, I'm going to hide it. Even if I hide these columns here, the information is still going to show. Because at the end of the day, the information is still on the spreadsheet. We're just hiding it. So as far as the income and the actual, I told you that the actual and the difference is going to automatically populate based on what you put in your paycheck budget. And your paycheck budget, you can change that. So you can, if you budget by paycheck, you can do an estimated paycheck budget, but then you have to remember to go back after you're actually paid and edit those amounts to the actual figures so that everything can be accurate when it comes to your monthly summary and your yearly summaries. So you can see that it automatically calculated everything for us. Everything. And if it's the same, it's going to just be a dash here on the difference, meaning you weren't over or under budget in any category. It's just the same. And then here we under budgeted by $15, over budgeted by $10 here. So you can see all of those have automatically calculated for you. So when it comes to the summary, in this actual column, it's telling us that after all of our income and expenses were taken into consideration, we actually have $1,175 left over for the month of December. And when it comes down to the difference here in the monthly summary, I wouldn't even pay that any mind, because you know that up here in each individual expense, you can see kind of what your money was doing as far as whether you were over or under. So I wouldn't even pay it any mind when it comes to the summary. I would refer back to the actual expense. So I really think that even if you budget by paper, which I do, I still think that budgeting on a spreadsheet is helpful in that it gives you this overall general picture. And if you do it on Google Sheets, you can actually download the Google Sheets app on your phone, and you can take this budget with you when you're out and about, and you don't have to carry your whole big budget binder or your budget planner. The very last thing that I want to show you is the yearly summary, because I told you that it will automatically calculate for you depending on what you put in the actual months. So since we have December all filled out, we should have some figures in our yearly summary, which we do not. All right, so what I figured out is anytime that you make a mistake and have to re-add a sheet, so when you have to duplicate that template and make a copy of it, even if you rename it to the same thing, it's still going to mess up when it comes to your yearly summary. So all you have to do is click on each cell and then press enter twice. So you just keep pressing enter. And this is kind of tedious, so if you do not want to use this, you do not have to. Quite honestly, I think I would rather just look at the months individually to see an overall picture. But if you choose to use this yearly summary page, just know that if you mess up on a sheet and make a copy, this is what you're going to have to do. All you have to do is basically keep pressing enter. So you're going to press the cell like I'm doing here. Just click on it and press enter twice and twice. You just keep pressing enter. Now remember, the blue rows here, the total is going to automatically calculate for you. So had we not had to duplicate a sheet, this would have already, once we pulled up this sheet here, it would have already had these numbers here. But we basically have to reset the formula every time we add in a new sheet. So basically, this is a learning experience for all of us. I like using Google Sheets, but I will be the first to admit I am not an expert. But you learn by doing and trying and experimenting. So here is what it is. But at least I'm doing it on this video so that if it happens to you, you know how to fix it. But anyway, so I just want to show you really quick. So we see the income here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to July and just put some numbers in the income so that we can make sure that it goes ahead and calculates it here and changes the totals for you. So I'm just going to go to July, and I'm going to input the figures here in the paycheck budgets as actual. All right, so back to the yearly summary. You can see that it changed here. So this is going to be helpful. Maybe you want to know how much you earned in a given year or how much you saved in a given year. Like, this is where this sheet comes in handy for you. But as I said, it's your choice whether you want to use it or not. You saw how tedious it was to go ahead and correct it if you had to duplicate a sheet or copy a sheet. But this is the budget spreadsheet. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I am not a technical person, but some tech stuff comes a little more easier to me than others, but I use Google a lot, and I use Google to make this spreadsheet. But I'm really excited about it because, like I said, I think it's going to help a lot of people. It's not overly complicated, as you saw. There are not a whole bunch of charts, and a lot of the stuff is automated. So if you're interested in this spreadsheet, there's a link in the description where you can purchase yours. If you have any questions, again, feel free to reach out to me. And happy budgeting, guys. Until next time, bye.